Hello everyone, thanks for joining me today. Today's topic, I want to talk to you about the Filipinos' misunderstanding of taking care of those that take care of them. And this is something I thought about when I was discussing the topic with someone the other day. And something they don't understand is you have to take care of the people that are taking care of you. And that's where we want to go today, okay? And like always, I'm going to ask you to like, subscribe, and share. I'm hoping these videos will help someone who may resonate with what I'm saying, may have experienced it, may want to share their experience because maybe it may help someone else. Also, please take the time to look at the online store. Your support would be greatly appreciated because it will help my channel grow and help other guys not to get scammed and help me bring you more content. Okay? So, with that in mind, what I want to discuss with you here today, if you can remember, there's a story of a guy named John. John was an American from California. He moved to the Philippines with roughly 1 or 2 million pesos, about 40,000 US. And that was at the time of the video. So he moved to the Philippines. He got involved with the first girl. She took some money from him. He gets involved with the second girl. She takes some money from him. So by this time, he's involved with the third girl. By the time he get involved with the third girl, his money is really starting to be depleted. So with the third girl, he done bought a house, he done bought cars, he done gave gifts. So now he's getting down to the bare minimum. The first two girls are gone. Now he's with the third girl. He moved in the squatters area with her. He ends up building a house. He moves in the house with them. So the short of the story is, by the time all this is done, John is out of everything. And he's on YouTube asking for help. The girl's family treats him bad. He got a child with the girl. She doesn't work. John is just in what we call dire straits. So here's where I want to go today, guys, because as we all know, a lot of guys fall into this same scenario. They meet these girls, they so-called fall in love, which I would call it, they fall in la-la, because I don't see any love in it, because it's a one-sided situation. It's all giving and no taking. But need I digress? It gets to a point to where we have to say enough is enough. We can't keep giving to something or someone that is not giving back to us. And here's my thing is, with all that John went through, people were criticizing him, talking down to him, saying mean things to him. But what they don't understand, what's going on with him is deeper than what's on the surface. It's deeper than what we can all see. And that's the whole point of me making this video today, to help other guys look above the surface. You know, take a deep dive into what's really happening here. So, before we criticize, take the time to watch the video to the end. Think about what I'm about to tell you, and then maybe you'll understand why this is happening on both sides of the coin. And that's where I want to go. Guys get their pockets empty, and the girls continue to repeat that cycle of poverty over and over. And there's a reason for this. There's a reason. So let's get into that here today. So, what we're going to do here today, this is something that the Filipino don't quite understand. It goes way over their head. And as you know, for the country to claim to be so religious, their religion don't teach them how to handle life. Okay? It doesn't. When I was growing up with my grandmother, she made sure that I went to church every day. And I never understood why, because I was a child. I just knew that if I didn't go, nothing else happened that week. But being an older woman from the country of Alabama, I can understand why now as I've gotten older. And this is something that their churches don't teach them. And this is why they're out there trying to scam everybody, because they're trying to get over. The thing they must consider is, if they would focus on what's feeding them, that they'll be much better off. The whole universe is based on a system. Whether we want to accept it or not, it's based on a system. It's based on a system of circular. It's based on a system of balance. You got 4 seasons. Whenever the seasons change, what happens? It rains. You wash out the old season, bring into the new. Leaves fall off the tree, they go where? On the ground. They nurture the ground to rebuild the tree again, and come the springtime, that tree goes back up. Every farmer knows to rotate his crops, to fertilize his soil, because why? He's putting back into the ground that feeds him. Filipinos don't understand this. And because they don't understand it, they fail at everything because they want to take. If the tree constantly takes from the soil, they're going to kill it. And when they kill the soil, the tree dies. So if a Filipino comes to a foreigner and she's constantly taking and taking and taking, eventually she kills him because she's took everything he has. Now he dies. Not physically die, but financially die. Does she care? No. She run off to the next Joe Blow and repeats that cycle over and over again, when all she had to do was focus and feed what's feeding her. They don't get that part. That part I learned at a very early age. As I watched my father work, I was fortunate enough to be able to go to work with my dad. My dad trained show horses, and I was about 12 years old. And I'm helping my father feed the horses. And I look at my dad, I said, "Dad, why you feed these horses so much?" He said, "Because I work them hard." At 12 years old, I caught on to what he's saying. And here's the story. Those horses was my father's livelihood. The horses fed him because he trained them and he went to the shows. That's how he made his money. So the horses fed him. He in turn made sure that they ate well. My dad had some big horses and they looked strong. He fed his horses because he worked them hard. There it is right there. And I'm sure my father got it from my grandmother. I'm sure my father understood it because my livelihood is based on this horse. I earn my money from this horse so this horse can help me feed my family. I'm going to tell you another story. My father's brother, he could take a shell of a car and build it up and drive it down the road just like it came from GM. And one thing he told me about my car, when I first started driving, he says, and I quote, "If you take care of your car will take care of you." That's the way the cycle of the universe works. You take care of that takes care of you. And until the Filipino understands that, they're going to always fail. Because why? They have broken the cycle of life. The universe is on a cycle and God created it that way. You can't break that cycle. But they want to break the cycle because they want to come to you as a foreigner with their hand out. And by having their hand out, they take. So you have fed them. but they're going somewhere else, feeding somebody else. No, you broke that cycle. When the foreigner feed the Filipina, she should in return feed him. Now, when we say feed, we're not talking in the sense of physical food. Okay? It's not physical food. If all you have is time, feed with your time. If all you have is attention, affection, loyalty, appreciation, you in return feed back what has fed into you. The foreigner may have given you money to go buy food so you can eat. But do you stop contacting him until you eventually say, oh, I need more now, so I'll talk to him. And you ain't talked to the guy in like 4 or 5 days. No. If the foreigner was smart, he would cut you off right there to bring back in line what should be done anyway. If he is feeding her, she should be feeding him. If you've noticed, and pay attention to this the next time you talk to a Filipina, she's going to ask you for money for whatever reason it is, and you're going to probably say, if no, okay, let's start off. When you say no, what's going to happen? She's going to get angry. She's not going to want to talk. Do you realize how crazy that is? You're not wanting to talk to somebody because they're not giving you their money. That's like going past a restaurant when you're hungry late at night after they've closed and you burn it down just because you can't eat. That's how silly that sounds to me. You ask someone for their money and for whatever reason or however they can't give it to you, and you get angry and run away. To me, that's self-sabotage. Maybe they can't give it right now. Maybe they can give it later. If you feed into them, maybe they can find a way to help you. And see, this is the part they don't get. They want to burn down the restaurant just because it's closed. It's something that they don't quite understand, being such a religious culture. They're breaking the cycle of life. When they break the cycle of life, they kill the source. Now, I know you're probably saying there's a lot of guys out there who have been with Filipinos a long time and they got good relationships and this, that, and the other. And that might be so. But sometimes killing the source takes longer than just a few weeks. You see, you got some guys out there, they're going to keep giving and giving because they don't want the girl to leave. And they'll sacrifice hell and high water to make sure that she gets what she wants, even though he's not getting anything in return. But at some point, when all the withdrawals have been taken and nothing has been deposited, at that point, he's going to see her true colors. You can't keep taking from the bank without making a deposit. You can't plant the crops over and over in the same place, and you can't do that and not fertilize the field. You reap what you sow. It's just that simple. It's the laws of the universe. You reap what you sow. They don't want to sow anything, but they want to reap. And the foreigners are left here expecting to give and give. You see situations where the family have several siblings, okay? They'll tell you the siblings don't have it to give. And they talk to the siblings. But when you don't have it to give, what do? They stop talking. They get angry. They expect for you to hold and take on the burden of supplying for the family. But that's not your responsibility. It's not our responsibility to give somebody what they did not get 20, 30 years ago. And it's not up to us to step into their life and say, oh, well, you didn't get what you needed. I'm going to be Captain Save-A-Ho and I'm going to give you just what you need. It doesn't work that way. So we need to cut that out here today, right now. they have to give something to the situation. Simple. It's really, really that simple. You feed what feeds you. You bless what's blessing you. You help what's helping you. If they can remember that simple phrase, they will be much better off. Because I'm sure a lot of them have met some good foreigners that have tried to help them, and maybe something happened and they couldn't send at the time that they wanted, and the girl ghosted them. Oh, well, he can't give me, so I'm just going to leave. He can't help me, so I'm going to just leave. And typically, that's usually what happens. Or on the other side, you give and you don't hear from her again until she needs some more. You're not feeding what's feeding you. So they kill the source. Guys, please remember, every relationship where there's not reciprocity, you kill the source. It's universal. It's the laws of nature. If you ever think about cutting grass, and anyone who knows anything about lawns, it's best to put those little lawn clippings back into your lawn, not bag them in trash bags. Because why? By cutting those clippings, it goes back and feeds the soil. See how it works? The grass grows, you cut it, those clippings die and feed the soil to help the grass grow again. If anything in that cycle doesn't work, the grass dies. It's not hard to figure out, but for some reason, they cannot get the part of feeding what's feeding them, blessing what's blessing them, helping what's helping them. It's the laws of nature. It's the laws of nature, and every relationship that goes against that is cursed. It's not going to last. It may last a while. It may last a while. It depends on the circumstances, but it's cursed, and once that source stops, the relationship dies. It's very simple. You have to feed what's feeding you. You reap what you sow. If the farmer sow corn, he's going to get corn. Sow peas, he's going to get peas. He sow greens, he's going to get greens. You cannot expect to sow cabbage and get corn from it. It doesn't work that way. So here it is, guys. This is what they don't understand, but this is what you have to understand. If you're going to be in a situation where you're helping and you're giving, you should be able to get something back in return. And if you've gotten this far, I hope you really can resonate with what I'm saying about reaping and sowing. You cannot reap disrespect and get honor. You cannot reap hostility and get love. You cannot reap greed and get prosperity. Those are the laws of nature. So guys, thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Please take a look at the online store. Your help will be greatly appreciated. You can get some great gifts for yourself or someone else, and it will help the channel grow so I can bring you more content like this and more content that you guys might want to see. All right. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time.